Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna talk about Vanda orchids or Vandaceous orchids. So, if you love these beauties but you struggle to grow them indoors or to rebloom there, or if you were not brave enough to get one of these beautiful orchids because you didn't know how to take good care of them, this video is for you. Just to let you know, I do have another video where I talk about how to grow Vanda. I will link it down below. However, this one is going to be, let's say, a video that will complement the other ones, since I have my beautiful Vandaceous here that's opening its buds, and also I have another one that's always in bloom, and I'm quite lucky with my Vandas, so I decided to explore this topic today. Let's start. First off, let's talk about light. These plants, they are bright light orchids, which means that if you live in the North Hemisphere, like I do, I live in London in the UK, I need to place these plants near a south or east faced window because that will offer these plants the best light. If you don't have these super bright windows like I have here behind of me, you need to use some growing light. So look for proper plants growing light. You can place them above your plant. Usually in nature, the plants will come from above directly to the orchid, so you should try to mimic something like that. And also keep the light on for around 12 to 14 hours a day. These plants come from tropical countries and they need natural light or light exposure to be able to bloom and rebloom year after year. So now that we cover light, let's talk about watering. So how I water my Vandas. So, if you follow me here, you probably know that I have all of my Vandas potted. So, it's a little bit different from people that have Vandas in baskets. It is possible to have your Vanda in a basket, and then in this case, you have to soak your Vanda and soak the roots until it becomes completely green. However, when you have your Vandas in baskets, you're going to have to water them probably more than once a week or more frequently. You're going to have more time to proper water them and soak them. I don't have all this time and I struggle a little bit to water my plants. So for these reasons, they are all potted. I potted them. Most of them are in clay pots, but some of them are in plastic pots as well. I love the clay pots because I think it helps my plants and helps with the humidity and the way that I rated the mix. But anyway, in this case, you're talking about potted Vandas. If you have a potted Vanda like I do, I usually go to my bath or I go to a place where I can shower them and I go and give them a proper watering, and I try to water some of the aerial roots as well. Some of them, they will have like a plate underneath their pots and I'll leave some water there, especially now that's hot. It's going to be very beneficial for them. But usually I water my plants, my Vandas once a week, and when it's winter, a little bit less than once a week. It depends on the orchid, on my Vanda, but I'll stick my finger inside the pot and I'll check if the roots are completely dry. Then I will need to water my Vanda. That's how I check, so keep checking yours. Similarly to Phalaenopsis, if the roots are very grayish, whitish, give it a good watering, wait for it to become completely green, then your Vanda is done. This pot is so heavy. Just saying. Gosh, but I love this plant. It has zero fragrance. Next here is feeding my plants or fertilizing it. So in terms of feeding, plants are a high feeder type of orchid. They do require fertilizer, lots of fertilizer, not other house plants, I mean orchid fertilizer. So what I do, specifically because I don't water them with my watering can that I put the fertilizer in, I tend to add lots of slow-release fertilizer inside their pots to make sure that they have enough fertilizers in their potting mix that will keep them healthy. That's what I do. From time to time, I will water them with my other orchids, so they will receive the fertilizer, the one that the soluble fertilizer that I buy locally in garden centers. I do go with orchid fertilizers with all of my orchids, but these ones, usually, I tend to add more slow-release fertilizer inside their pots than what I do with other orchids because they are larger, they produce super large roots, and they require more feeding than other orchids. So for Vandas and Vandaceous, Sometimes, depending on the type that you have, specifically the larger ones, you can add more slow-release fertilizer inside the potting mix. It does help me a lot, specifically to produce beautiful blooms and give me a bloom show. For you to notice and look after your Vanda, remember that you have to be patient. These plants, especially if you buy a young one, take years to grow and to mature. So you have to be very careful with them, offer them bright light, watering, fertilizing, and they should bloom for you when they are mature enough. More than that, always notice if your Vanda is pushing out beautiful aerial roots. That's a sign that your Vanda is definitely healthy. They will definitely have a bunch of aerial roots. That's in their nature, and they love to branch out all over the place. Also, something else is like this plant, it has some purple dots in its leaves. That's also normal. Is anthocyanin because it's exposed to bright light. Nothing abnormal there. Everything is super normal. However, if you notice that the roots start thin, papery, they are not growing very well, or if the leaves start to become a little bit discolored, it's not exactly green, losing its color. So these are signs that your Vanda might not be healthy, so would worth maybe repotting it, change the watering routine, and also changing the location that you have your Vanda in. I would check all of these 3 things, and hopefully one of them should be the solution. Also, don't forget to fertilize your orchids. Orchids needs their fertilizing to be able to grow healthily and push out beautiful blooms. But once they are mature enough and they are healthy enough, they will reward you with the most beautiful bloom show that we have. I think Vandas, they are so lovely. They have one of the most beautiful flowers, and it's so rewarding to have them inside our flats. So I'm very happy with my Vandas. They are blooming year after year. I have no issues whatsoever growing them indoors. So if you want to try, I super recommend these plants. The only disadvantage is they are super large. You need the proper space for them, especially if you live in a flat. But if you do have the space, go buy a Vanda. You won't regret it. And that was everything that I want to tell you today. Oh, and before I go, I just want to say thank you very much for everybody that subscribed to my channel and leave comments here. I read them. Sometimes I don't reply on time. Takes me a while to get to everything. But I will always respond when I have time. And I'm so grateful for every one of you. I just saw today that I have 2,000 subscribers. So it's a party for me. It makes me so happy. I'm so incredibly grateful for everyone that's following me on this orchid journey. And I just want to finish this video on these notes. So thank you very, 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 very much. I'm going to say in Portuguese as well. Obrigada. And I hope to have you here again and again. And let's talk more about orchids. That's it. Bye-bye.